Hello, welcome to the challenge about padding and inline blocks. So let's walk through this. We want to style the A tag with the inline block display property, and that's because this will make the A tags use padding like block elements. So that likely doesn't make sense yet, but that's why we're going to talk about that in this video. And then we want to add padding of 20 pixels to the A tag, change the background of the P tag. This will make the padding more obvious, great, and give the P tag 20 pixels of padding. Okay, cool. So let's go through this. I'm actually going to skip step 1 because I want it to be more obvious. So let's first, make some bugs. Let's write some code that leads us into wondering what's going on. And that is going to happen a lot as you program. So if you can do it here in this video with me, it might save you some time later. All right, let's add some padding to the A tag. A tag, there should be an S there. I'll edit that after this video. So we want to add some padding to the A tags. All right, where are our A tags? They're in the menu. Okay, then let's say menu A, background teal. Tomato, let's go tomato. All right, cool. So we know this is just to say my selector is working, and I'm going to make the selector even longer just because, there we go. All of the A tags within anything with a class menu, within anything with a class centered. So this is an unnecessarily long selector. You could even just use A in this case, because we don't have many A tags, but usually you're going to have a bunch of A tags in different places on a page, so you want to be more specific. I added the centered here just to show some more deeper nesting in a selector, just to give you an idea of what some different selectors might look like. Anyway, so we've got background tomato, and we want to add some padding. All right, let's go for it. We want padding of 20. Padding, I need that colon, 20 pixels. Great, but not great, because it's not yet doing what we want it to. What do I mean? Well, look above, look over here. There isn't 20 pixels of padding above this home button. There's actually whatever was there before. It hasn't changed. So if I comment that out and comment, you'll see that vertically there doesn't seem to be any padding. And we can confirm that using the developer tools. I'm going to go ahead and open those up. I'll just right click somewhere over here, say inspect. All right, so I've got my developer tools open. Right now they're in a separate window, and you might, when you first open them, you might see them over on the side. Just so you know, there's a 3 dots button in developer tools that you can use to say move around, move somewhere else. And right now I have it undocked into a separate window. Okay, so let's close that. I'm gonna use the old select element button. Click it, I'm going to focus back on my window over here, and I want to start hovering these. You can see they do have padding. There is padding all over the place there. They're getting the padding we expect, but it's not working. It's not working vertically. You might say, hey, it's working on below, but actually, if you hover this, you see that's the margin. The only reason there's space between the links and this P tag here is the margin that the P tag has. It's not because of these A tags. So what's going on with this padding? Well, I can click it, I can see what's going on here. That brings us to point 1. Make this shrink that a bit. So what are we saying here? Style the A tag with inline block. So you might have been wondering why. That is very reasonable. Well, let's do it. Display inline block. Hey, look at that. There is our padding. So again, I'm going to select this, and you'll see that we have our padding 20 all around, and it looks as expected. And now you can see even more clearly what I said before about there being margin on that P tag. The margin of the P tag and the padding of the A tags is sort of stacking together, so between the two, we're getting even more space. Now, what happened there? Well, A tags links by default have a display property of inline. So they have a display property of inline. Just like a div has a display property of block by default, these A tags have a display property of inline by default. And that is actually not usually what you want. It's not that useful. What it does do is it lets You can add some padding, and let's change this to what, 5 pixels, a bit of padding, and let's add a background. Thistle. Let's bring back Thistle. And now you'll see that the padding is there. So if I uncomment this, you'll see those shrink. The padding works, but what happens is these A tags are sort of left in the textual line that they were in. And this actually is desirable sometimes, but usually when you're styling an A tag with padding, especially in a navigation menu, you'll actually want that padding to work. In other words, so we say display inline block, and our padding works as expected. What inline block means is these are still inline elements, so they appear one after another. They've got a space between them because the browser sees that there's white space in between them here. And so they're inline elements, but they have the box model operates more like a display block element. So the padding and the borders and the margin work as you'd expect. All right, let's keep on going. The rest should be fairly simple. We added the 20 pixel padding and not the right value. Let's bring that back, 20. And we want to change the background of the P tag so it's more obvious. All right, let's do that. I'm just gonna go super quick here and say, what is it? It's in centered, isn't it? Centered, P, background, lime. All right, there we go, we got a background. And the final test, the P tag should have padding 20 pixels. Well, that's simple enough. Padding 20 pixels, and there we go. Pass, success. Click that, and there we are. All right, I'll see you in the next challenge.